I'm back, guys! Yeah, I bet you thought I was gonna make Jax next, but no. Today we're making our favorite little jester, Pomni! For my design, we will be taking some inspiration from Miss Queen, she's another digital circus artist. She made those VN games that the voice actors played. And her design of Pomni, she made her like a little bit chubby. And well, I'm a little bit chubby, so I made her into a cosplay just with a few tweaks here and there. And so we will basically just be taking both of these designs and making them into a Monster High doll. First, we're going to start with her hat. I took this little cat beanie from like a BJD doll that I got off of Amazon. I'm not sure which doll series it is. It's like these little blind bags. And I am just taking some red and blue fabric and gluing it into the same pattern as it is on the show, and then just adding some yellow ribbons and a couple of bells. For her body, we will be using a G3 Draculaura body, since Pomni is the shortest person in the circus, so it kind of makes sense to use Draculaura since she's the shortest in the doll lineup. And then we will be adding on to the sculpt with some clay to give her the same little belly from her fan design. I actually had two versions of her sculpt. I had one where I used epoxy sculpt, which as you can see is a two-part clay here in this clip that basically kind of turns into plastic. And then I had one where I just used normal air dry clay. I actually had a lot of trouble with this epoxy sculpt, probably just because it was my first time using it and it dried really fast. I don't have much experience with it. But for my dolls, I like them to be mostly functional for like my stop motion and the photos that I take. And it was really hard for me to do that with the epoxy sculpt due to my lack of experience versus like the air dry clay, which I have more time to like kind of sculpt in and blend in a way that I can still like I don't know, I guess I could just like pose the doll. But honestly, like I think the air dry version like kind of turned out a lot better than the epoxy, just because again I knew how to like blend it properly than the epoxy sculpt. But I'll show you both outcomes anyway. Now it's time to move on to her face. I'm taking some inspiration from my own makeup that I do for my Pomni cosplay. So I'm just giving her some eyeliner, drawing on her little eyelashes, and giving her some darker eyeshadow, just to kind of represent like the fact that her eyelids are black, but I wanted it to look more like makeup, so that way it's not just like a little like 2D cartoon. I like to make them look a little more human. And then for my cosplay, I actually have this little like makeup stamp, and it's like a little like star, and I use it as a beauty mark, so I made sure to give her that as well. I also gave her a matte red lipstick and some blush as well. Can you tell she's my favorite character? Much like my cosplay, and I also think Queen's design has this detail as well. Both like designs of Pomni used white gloves instead of like a whole bunch of like red and blue, so I made sure to add that as well. And I also noticed that in some of Queen's animations, when Pomni doesn't have gloves, she has her nails painted in a certain way with like all the reds and blues and yellows, so I wanted to add that as well. And in the end, she ends up having multiple sets of hands. So that's great! For her jumpsuit, I commissioned Deluxe Designs on Etsy again. She did such an amazing job with the whole thing, especially the sleeves. I love the sleeves. I am just taking a ribbon and another little bell, as well as attaching some snaps to the back for the extra detail and functionality. I originally had this jumpsuit made to fit a Cat Noir doll, and then just adjusted it to fit this one. I made her the original shoes, like the red and blue ones, and just added like a gold buckle off of camera. But since we're also basing her doll on my cosplay, I wanted to give her the shoes that I wear. So it's a running joke, obviously, that Pomni loves sandwiches, and for my cosplay, I just so happened to find sandwich shoes. So with some paint and some rainbow high shoes, we can make her her own little sandwich shoes. I decided to give her some short black hair, similar to what she has in the show. I know it tends to jump back and forth between black and brown, but I decided on black anyway, just because I see that a lot more often. And I actually have a smaller Pomni doll that I made with a Nana Surprise doll. I actually have a couple of mini digital circus dolls that maybe I'll show in the future, but I made them when I was first starting to watch the show. And I'll show a little picture of the Pomni doll now. But yeah, now we have one of each color. wanted to give her some additional little accessories. I managed to find a few little treats from my mini burst collection, so now she can finally eat a little sandwich in peace. I also found her a tiny camera for her little adventures to her abandoned buildings, and then found a reference for episode 6. I don't know if YouTube likes this thing, so I'm just going to show you the handle for it, and then blur out the photos later. And then, to make one more reference to Queen's VN games, I made her a tiny little Beerza centipede. And now it's finally time to assemble our little jester. Yeah, I bet you thought I wasn't gonna find your treasure, but look where we are now. Hey girl, I put my man in the corner for a little bit because he was bad. Wanna go get digital Taco Bell? I can't right now, I'm torturing a fish. What'd he say to you? He said I would never find his treasure. Oh, I'm getting the dish soap. And now I will take this and use it to buy digital Taco Bell. No, please don't use my life savings for digital Taco Bell.